I mean, Robinhood
You
is...
can look right into the camera, too.
And apologize if you'd like.
Yeah, the camera, not the screen. If
I
you
think
like.
if we look back on it, Robinhood is all about the individual investor. We don't want anyone to feel left behind. We think January 28th was an example of what happens when millions of people can access the markets and exercise their right to democratically vote for the companies they believe in. And that's what Robinhood is all about. It's democracy and capitalism in one. So, you know,
It was a perfect denouement of they got to show you, yes, we're just like American democracy, where your vote doesn't really matter.
Apple shares are just getting hammered this morning. Every day they're pounding it. Bitcoin. I'm not fucking leaving. Surprise.
Hell yeah, baby.
Well, isn't there supposed to be another person here?
Yeah, it's a ghost.
Wow.
Hey,
Hi.
so what's it
Thanks
like
so
being
much for coming.
Yeah.
A corporeal being. He's a little bit shy.
It's okay.
all right, guys, I get it.
Whoa, who's this?
Hey,
I
how's
was
it
watching
going,
you.
man?
I was watching you upstairs, talking to the empty chair, and figured,
Look at that
Should
smooth
hurry up
feathered
and-
hair.
oh, thank you.
yeah.
Folks,
Did you get a blowout for us?
I did not know. This
Okay.
is all natural.
Amazing.
wow, not a single gray and all that stress over the last few years.
Seriously.
I've got grays. What's my excuse?
All right,
Bad genetics,
You're not
that's what it
You're
is.
not looking close enough. I'm sure I have a bunch in there.
Do you color?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got tons of gray. And
Yeah,
I'm
you
younger
do.
than you.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
what, 37?
34.
34. Damn. Wait, am I 34?
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
February 13th.
Oh my
So I'm
God,
almost
it's soon.
35.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're not going to sing happy birthday. We don't have to do that.
Yeah, you don't have to do
Um,
that.
Welcome to the show. We are a bit of an unconventional show, as I'm sure you've probably been briefed. We are a Christian podcast, so we would like to start with a prayer, if you wouldn't mind. Just humor us. Thank you. Lord, we hope that you bless this podcast. Make it good. Make us look like professionals and not idiots. Please bless Vlad, too. Make sure that he
doesn't say anything stupid.
doesn't say anything stupid.
Don't piss
We'll
off.
take care of that part.
Make it
And
funny.
Make it funny.
Please help protect us from Vlad's bodyguards.
Yeah, that part especially.
They're quite scary.
And your
anyway.
compliance team.
And our
And our
compliance
compliance
team. My eyes should be closed. Vlad, anything to add?
No, I think let's make it great.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with
Thank
that.
you
Okay.
for having me here. I love LA. Beautiful weather. Beautiful people, including you two.
Oh. Okay, cool. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen very much.
Oh,
Okay, wow.
thank you, Jesus, for all of our blessings.
Yeah,
in
thank
this
you,
show.
Jesus.
Yeah, so let's just get right into it. Right off the bat, we are contractually obligated to say Stanford sucks and you suck for going there. I'm sorry about that, but
It's a thing. It's
just
a meme.
the thing. We're gonna get crucified if we don't tell you suck. For
I'm
going
gonna
there.
give him an explainer. When we first started the podcast, we were number 1 on the business charts due to the fact that we had like unique listeners and stuff, and we were neck and neck with the Stanford Business School for several weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it became a thing that we hated Stanford Business School. So they do suck.
Do you know William Prezone? By the way, I think he graduated in your class.
I don't.
No, his father created the private prison. No,
Don't know.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Good guy. You should
William Free Zone.
Prezone.
It's spelled like prison, but with an
With
accent
a-
mark on the O. Do you know what you're getting into here? Because we're a couple of bona fide morons. Like, really. But we're not going to, like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. I'm more concerned for us because this is just embarrassing all around. But we do want to ask, so, like, why are you here? Y'all reached out to us. This is,
Well, we like what you guys are doing. I know it's a relatively young podcast. What is this, episode
20. You'll be our
Episode
20th
20?
episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for everyone who said we wouldn't make it 20, this one's for you.
Fuck yourself.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't do a lot of podcasts. Maybe you've seen some of the ones that I do, but maybe 2 or 3 per year, maybe a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's just still a lot of people out there that don't know our mission, don't know what we stand for, and we're all about making it so that young people who have for such a long time been left out of the market and felt like they've been left behind. You know, rich people are out there making money, taking advantage of the financial system, taking advantage of crypto, and making it so that more people figure out how this thing works and don't get left behind and have an opportunity to make money for themselves and their families. That's what Robinhood's all about.
That's what we're about too.
That's what we're about.
Like I'm the trader here. I'm a stock trader. I'm actually a professional licensed trader, which is scary to think about because
You have a Series 7?
I have a Series 57
Oh,
prop
wow.
trader.
That's 50 better than a 7.
Yeah.
It's 50 more. Damn, that's good math. He's a math major.
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
almost a PhD.
Yep.
We won't call you doctor because you didn't make it.
I didn't make it. No,
you
I'm
should
a
go back so
dropout.
people have to call you doctor.
Yeah, for a while, my parents were asking me about that. You know, when are you going to finish your PhD? When are you going to go back? Up until very recently, surprisingly recently. But I'm too old to be a mathematician now.
Damn.
And then once you hit $1 billion, I feel like your parents can stop asking you
Yeah,
questions,
they were like,
right?
okay.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Also, we
Well,
have a bit of a
yeah,
bone
we
to
do
pick
have
here.
to clarify.
You made us look like assholes
You're
because
not a billionaire anymore, we've heard.
That's what Forbes magazine says.
Yeah.
I mean-
we're pretty pissed because we were like, we're going to have the first billionaire on.
like
now-
the first billionaire for us.
And now we've got a 900 millionaire, and it feels a little shitty.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I might have the math wrong, but to me, 900 of something is more than 1 of something. So in my mind, 900 million is more than a billion.
Yeah,
That's
so
just how the math
maybe
works for
this
me.
is good. We've got a 900 millionaire instead of a 1 billionaire.
Yeah, I forgot for Glenn. Please.
Oh, yeah.
You got to click the see more button.
Check
in
out the disclosure.
Yeah, the disclaimer in the
Disclaimer.
description box. Glenn is our compliance guy, my compliance guy.
Oh, cool.
For the firm where I trade. Okay, so that was a good answer. Thank you. Because I was going to ask, well, did you sell that for us, buddy? Because that would have been $1.5 million.
That would have been good for me.
Yeah, because it would feel like it accommodates for the taxes that we would have to pay so that it would be a
Right.
nice big round number, but it wasn't for us. And also, yeah, because I was going to ask, why would you sell at the bottom? Because the stock's in the shitter.
Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough. Again,
There's going to be a lot of that. And just so you know, it ain't personal. Damn, you got big hands, man.
oh, thank
Let's
you.
see.
Look at those things.
Give us each
Get
one.
some, well,
No,
yeah,
they're
okay.
a little
Yeah.
smaller than your hands, in fact. A little bigger than yours.
Fuck. This is. cut. Can we cut that? Cut that.
Because you know what could help? So, I mean, you said it wasn't accurate, but just going off what the internet says that you fell below the $1 billion threshold mark. You might have heard of a guy named Elon Musk.
Do you know?
There was, yeah,
I do.
Okay.
There was a thing that he did on a podcast called the Joe Rogan Experience.
Which is also having a little bit of a moment right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where he smoked weed on the podcast, and it did hurt Tesla stock in the near term.
But in the long
term,
what
one
happened
could
to
say,
Elon Musk,
yeah,
richest man in the world,
Oh, and you can draw a straight line from
absolutely.
from doing drugs on a podcast to richest man in the world, and we know.
That you go ahead.
Well, we just want to help you out. So if you would like to do any drugs, our production team, we've got black tar heroin back
Ketamine.
there. Ketamine, fentanyl,
Whoa, buddy,
whatever he.
we
I
don't
know.
have that.
Okay, you might be kind of kinky. He's winking at me. We do have it if you want to do it.
yeah.
Ecstasy.
Okay, what about the just regular old? We got marijuana.
Well, I thought he wanted to go bigger than Elon.
Yeah.
So
It's definitely nothing personal to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like you guys, but I haven't even had a drink since 2017.
okay.
Are you
As a Christian podcast, hopefully
yeah.
you'd
Oh yeah. No.
appreciate
Yeah.
that,
We
right?
totally
Okay.
are.
Well, all right. We thought we could help with the stock. price a little bit,
There
but-
you go.
We do want. I mean, we have some fun getting to know you questions, and we will. Just to loosen you up a little bit, much like a glass of wine would.
Yep.
I'll tell you what,
I'm
it's
not a big drinker
It's
either.
a little embarrassing. When we were prepping for this, we didn't know, and all these, we have so many like, what's it feel like to be a billionaire? So I guess scratch that.
Well, no, I want to. I do like that's the fun getting to know you stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll get to the.
But
We'll
he's
get
not
to
a
the.
billionaire anymore. Or
Well,
you're saying
sure,
you
sure,
are
sure.
a billionaire.
I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
So, do people treat you differently? Not only as like the CEO of a publicly traded company, but when you start to reach those upper echelons, I'm assuming that people kind of treat you differently, right?
They must. I mean, just us doing the podcast, we get treated a little differently. I walk around, people spit on me when I walk down the street. They yell, "Boo! Fuck you!" or "Quit!" And so I imagine they must treat you a little differently.
I'm not sure. You know, the thing is that I just don't have a ton of time, right? So I spend probably the vast majority of my time at work, like working in the office with other folks from Robinhood, right? So
Right.
it's hard to separate everything else that's going on from, you know, my status as CEO of Robinhood and all of that.
Yeah. Did your life change? I mean, I know that it did, but like, were there ways that it changed measurably from before?
Not really. I
You
mean,
didn't go out and buy a McLaren?
no.
'Cause that would be. That's not what I would do.
Me neither.
I'd buy an old Porsche.
I think what I realized, and maybe this is just me, is the more stuff I have, the more stressful it is,
Sure.
right? It's like, you know, you buy a car, now you have a car to maintain, right? And the thing is, I'm all about simplicity. I want to optimize my life around just doing what I love, which is getting more people into investing, educating people about what the stock market is and how they could empower themselves. And, you know, if it makes my life easier, beyond the point where you don't have to worry about rent and food, I'd say it's pretty gravy. So everyone that knows me would probably be surprised at just how frugal I am.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess my next question, because how much
do
money
you
is?
have one or not?
Yeah, I do. Shut
Okay,
up.
Jesus
God damn.
Christ.
This guy. I mean, geez, Louise.
I mean, we knew
I
it was
drive an
coming.
89 Volvo. I hear what you're saying. And I've been able to afford at least a 92 for quite some time. I love old Volvos.
Hey, that's a good
Yeah,
year.
I got a 2008 CRV, about 220,000 miles on it.
Damn, why don't you brag about it?
People have been begging me to get a new car for years.
So I guess, I mean, you sort of answering my next question, which is like, how much money is enough? Is there an amount at which you'd be like, damn, okay, I can just call it a day? I mean, for me, that's like above $10 million or like 10 million. You park it all into index funds. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of these communities, right? The FIRE community.
sure.
I don't know if you guys have been looking around at those. I mean, there's people, it just depends on your lifestyle, right? There's people that live in RVs that can retire on much less than that.
But for you, how much is enough for you?
Uh,
Because it sounds like you live a bit like an ascetic. You're explaining your...
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go that extreme. I don't know. I think that, you know, obviously I want to make sure that we have enough to...
So just throw a number out.
You know, if you don't have an answer, that's fine. Like the billionaire guy who gave away all his
Yeah, I
money,
was
now
gonna
he's
tell
got
him he should
3
give out the rest.
million left. Or left, yeah.
Okay, so you answered, do people treat you differently, but do you treat people differently now?
I'd like to think no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. You're never going to say yes to that one.
Yeah.
Well, I treat wait staff differently for
Yeah.
sure.
I just tried to throw it at you real quickly to see if I could get you to say something.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
full disclosure.
I mean, at this point, and we will get around to the thing that you know what the thing is.
You know what the thing is?
Yeah, it's that whole thing with that one thing
What's
that
the thing?
happened last year.
You know what
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that whole thing. Do you ever get yelled at by people on the street? Anybody ever say rude things?
Hasn't happened.
Wow, holy
Yeah.
shit. Good for you. Because I would think that it'd be like,
Well, they can't get near him. He's got
Oh,
this
yeah.
team. And just so you guys know, you can't see him. They're just off camera, but I've got his
I've got a
security
gun trained
detail.
on me right
He's
now.
looking at me. Every time I say something, he goes like this. And for the audio listeners, he's dragging his thumb across his neck. It's quite scary.
signaling to you that you better watch your
Yeah.
effing mouth.
I'll be good, baby.
It's a
So,
Christian pod.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your questions from your
Oh,
friends
yes,
in
I'm,
Jersey.
uh,
I don't know if we Do you want to?
These are good. I haven't read them yet. I asked my friends. I grew up in New Jersey, so I got a lot of boys back home who were like, "You're gonna have the Vlad from Robinhood on," and I said, "Let me know if you guys got any questions." They're pretty insightful dudes. So, do you mind if I?
No,
they'll kill me if I don't read them out. Let's see. I should have looked at them a little bit more closely. This one's from Fat Mike. Okay, that less of a question. This one just says you're not better than me, so we'll just skip that one.
Okay.
This one's from Jeff, aka the Dumpster Dick. You don't want to know why. He says, "Oh, this is actually a question. What's it like to be a Silicon Valley billionaire?" Good question. Oh, is there a meeting you guys have where you discuss how to make your app make people's lives worse? Okay, sorry about that last part. I didn't know they put that one in there. We can just skip that one, I guess.
Wait, what does Matt F says?
Again, not a question. This one's from Matt F. This one just says eat shit. Okay.
I think you can skip the last one. I think you can skip that last
Do you
one.
want to hear what John says? It's
you
not
don't want
nice.
to.
I think these boys.
You don't want to know what.
I think these
Up
boys.
to you. It's your guys'
It's not
show.
a good one.
No, it's not nice.
I don't
think
think
these
it's not
boys
nice.
held some GameStop.
I think it's not nice.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we want to take a quick break to thank another sponsor of today's episode, NetSuite. This is it, the putt to win the tournament. If you sink it, the championship is yours. But on your backswing, your hat falls over your eyes. Is this how you're running your business? Poor visibility because you're still relying on spreadsheets and outdated finance software? To see the full picture, you need to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle.
NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system to power your growth with visibility and control of your financials inventory. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system to power your growth with visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more. NetSuite is everything you need to grow all in one place.
With NetSuite, you can automate your processes and close your books in no time while staying well ahead of your competition. 93% of surveyed businesses increased their visibility and control after upgrading to NetSuite. In fact, over 28,000 businesses already use NetSuite. So for the new year, NetSuite has a new financing program for those ready to upgrade at netsuite.com/trill.
Head to netsuite.com/trill for this special one-of-a-kind financing offer on the #1 financial system for growing business. netsuite.com/trill.
Before we get into the other stuff, I did want to ask, you mentioned that the thing that you care about is the most is helping people understand stocks. So were you a trader before? Did you trade? Is that how you got interested in all this?
Well, I'll tell you how I got interested in it. So I was born in Bulgaria, as you guys might know. It's a small country in Eastern Europe. And it went through a very difficult time. So right around 1995, it was basically after communism fell apart in Eastern Europe. Bulgaria went through hyperinflation, which meant that the currency basically devalued by 1,000 times or something like that. So I'd go to Bulgaria, a Big Mac at McDonald's was 2 leva, right? And then the next year it would be 2,000 leva or something like that. And my grandparents lived there, right? They were mostly retired at that point, so they had their pensions, and the pensions overnight just went to nothing, right? And I remember what my grandparents were doing to store their wealth was my grandfather was a captain on a ship. And so he knew someone at the port of Varna, which was on the Black Sea coast, and he would take his salary or his pension as soon as he got it and put it into copper cookware. So he'd literally be buying copper pots and pans because they held their value a little bit better than the currency. So, and that really stood out to me. I mean, people don't realize how lucky we are in this country to have access to a currency that's stable. I mean, there's a lot of talk about inflation, and it is scary, but hyperinflation is something very, very different, and it can change people's lives overnight. And if my grandparents didn't have my parents to help them out, we were in America at the time, I mean, it would have been very, very difficult. So giving people access to ways to invest their money, regardless of how much money they had, because rich people, Rich people didn't have this problem. You could move money overseas, you could diversify your assets. There's so many things you could do. But for the everyday person who is living on a pension, these types of things can be like just crippling. So I think from a very early age, I learned to appreciate the value of investing and diversifying your assets and, participating and being really savvy about the financial system that we all rely on.
So you weren't a trader.
I
More
wasn't
of an
a
investor.
trader. Yeah.
That's something that I try to preach to anyone who ever asks, because they see my stellar returns. I'm very, very successful. And they ask, how did you do it? Tell me what stocks to buy. How do I turn $1,000 into $20,000? And the common refrain I've got is just, don't do that. Please don't trade. Just invest. Because if I had done that, I'd be much more well off than I am today, which is really fucking annoying.
You're making it the hard way.
God, I know, I'm making it the hard
There's
way.
no glory.
But
in...
my plan is that, I've learned how to do this so that over time,
Nice.
this is the chart.
For sure.
This is the time,
And
and this is my wealth.
Right.
It'll get to a point where, I can take advantage of
People.
good trades.
Oh.
Yeah, people too. So let's dive right into the thing.
So we just did a recap in anticipation of this. And we're about a year out from the whole GameStop debacle, and we did a recap episode because it's a very complicated thing, and it was for the first time people were learning about these concepts, and still people were asking us if we could just do like a quick breakdown to let them know. So we said it's the perfect time because we've got Vlad coming on the show. It all worked out, and so we kind of wrapped up our last show. All as it unfolded, the stock started coming down, and right before there was the congressional hearing and everything. So we didn't get into much of the aftermath, but we'd like to hear
my take on it.
So maybe,
well, yeah.
And you guys started this podcast shortly after, right?
yeah,
No.
I mean, the conversation started shortly after the GameStop thing, and it took a while because, you got to work out the business end of it, but we started actually in like August or September of last year. But yeah, it was definitely inspired by a lot of people talking a lot about very complicated things, but still being very, very green as traders. And to me, that was cool because it's like, hey, this is shit that only I've been talking about with just my nerdy trader friends online, but now everybody's interested and I can talk someone's ear off about things. I mean, that's a whole other story that I'll get to. Not story, but just my anecdotes. But we wanted to ask you just to give us a brief timeline of what happened from.
We didn't talk about you too much. You normally get painted as this the villain in this whole story. We wanted to hear what your
Boy, you really do. It's really wild.
People do not. I'll tell you what. We had mentioned last week that you were going to be on to talk about it.
Yeah.
And you owe us like maybe 100 audience members because there were a bunch of people who were like, unsubscribe. I don't want to fucking support this anymore if they're going to talk to Vlad.
Only 100?
I don't know. I don't have the metrics exactly, but there was a lot of comments that were not happy with us.
And here's our shot.
Yeah.
So if you'd like, if you can, walk us through like a rough timeline, please.
Well, I think the most important thing to say here is that I mean, if you look at the whole GameStop thing, the whole meme stock movement, it was just like a tremendous triumph for our mission, right? I mean, think about what happened in a very short amount of time. A gigantic number of people, a lot of whom didn't know anything about investing, maybe had never invested before, had entered the market, exercised their sort of democratic right to essentially support these companies. And a lot of these companies were companies that were beaten down by the pandemic. So you started seeing this happening in 2020 when, the airlines just got crushed, right? And you saw Warren Buffett selling airline stocks, right?
I remember.
And, back in previous years, 2008, when there was a stock market crash, the government came in and bailed out a bunch of companies. They bailed out the banks. they bailed out some of the automakers, right? And nobody was coming in to bail out the airlines, right? Nobody came in to bail out the retailers, the movie chains. And what happened was individuals stepped in, right? Individuals came in and they said, we love these companies. We don't care about whether Warren Buffett is selling them or hedge funds are shorting them. Actually, we don't like that. We think that it's unfair that this pandemic happened. We had these shutdowns and, these companies are getting penalized. We want them to exist. They wanted these companies like GameStop and AMC to exist. And they came in and put their dollars behind that using our platform. Like a lot of that activity was made possible by our platform. And I think it's just, regardless of how it ended, and I know, you want to talk about us restricting stocks and things like that, but these people basically started a financial revolution, something we haven't seen before. And I think that's actually an awesome thing if you think about our mission. Like, we're all about giving individuals the power to change the financial system and to take charge of their own destiny, and that's what we saw.
Yeah,
Sure,
I think that's
I see that as a
interesting.
double-edged sword.
Well, I mean, you said regardless of how it ended, and I think it's I'm shocked that you call it a triumph. And
Yeah.
and we're gonna
Well, because on the one hand, you said the mission's, it does line up with your mission, and there were people doing exactly what you said. They felt like getting in and investing in these companies, but undeniably there were also people who were just like, hey, I heard from my cousin that if I buy GameStop, it's going to go to 100,000 a share. And that's where I said the double-edged sword, because it's like, yeah, I got a lot of friends asking me about how to start trading, which is great. But then almost immediately thereafter, it was like, hey, I just got approved for options trading.
Yep.
Like, and I tell everybody who does that, like, please don't do that. I mean, it took me 5 years just to get educated on how not 5 years to learn how they work, but to feel comfortable enough to even dip my toes into it. But so just to backtrack a little bit,
I have some thoughts, by the way.
Yeah.
I think it's a great question. It's one that we hear a lot. And what I'd say to that is it's really democracy. Like you can say the same thing about democracy, right?
which not having a great time right now. Just to
democracy isn't.
You've heard a couple of different variants of this. Like some people say the greatest argument against democracy is a conversation with the average voter. You've heard that, right? There's also the statement that democracy is the worst system of government, except for every other system.
I've heard that.
right, we are going to have a headline tomorrow. Vlad says the average voter is stupid.
I never said that, to be
we
clear.
have it, and we'll clip it.
Fascism rocks.
That's not my quote, but
No,
I actually disagree with it. I disagree with that quote, and I think that basically you have to choose, right? Would you rather live in a world where everyone has access to the powerful tools that the rich people have to make money on a level playing field, or would you rather have a world very much like the world we've had recently, where only rich people and sophisticated people have access to these tools to make money and everyone else is shut out? So I'd say, of course, there's warts around it, right? Of course, there's people that make bad decisions, but we believe in democracy, right? And I think that's our baseline, that's our standard, and we want to make sure that we provide the education, we give people tools to get educated, but we think that
But do you think
I don't want to live in a world where only rich people have access to options trading and sophisticated financial tools,
Sure.
and the everyday person has like an impossible time accessing them.
And I know what you just said is that having access to the education, but that wasn't always the case with Robinhood, was it? Like when you first launched, it seemed like there was more of a focus on growth and more of a focus on getting people to sign up. You famously had the confetti to celebrate certain milestones, the gamification of trading, which again is kind of a double-edged sword from my perspective, because on the one hand, you've got very user-friendly interface, and you were the first of its kind to do that, because like, you know, the brokerage that I use has an app that sucks, and the user interface is not user-friendly, especially for a beginner. So can you comment on how, your guys' approach from the start, how you might have kind of dropped the ball a bit with getting people to not gamble,
well, I
but
mean, democracy is great, but it sounds like you were offering these tools that and kind of left out some of your own responsibility with what people could use these tools for.
I don't know about that. I mean, when I think there is this beam that, and you heard it before everyone copied our business model, before the legacy brokers dropped commissions, they would say things like, it's good to have a commission because it keeps the people from trading too much, right? If you have a commission, people really think about those trades, and they only make trades that are well thought out. And then now you're hearing it about the user interface. You know, it's not good to have a user interface that's too simple and too easy to use.
Well, to that, I mean, I would say, look, I've seen this guy trade, and it's like, you know, he's putting so much thought into it. He's got, 3 monitors up. He's watching everything he could possibly be watching, and you're saying, oh, you don't need any of that. Do it on your phone. Just have a simple little app to do it all.
I mean, I think that different people have different access to tools. You know, we have a lot of people that, they'll use Robinhood, and maybe they'll have their trading view or their stock screeners or their scanners, and pretty much everyone has different tools, and some of those we bring into the platform, right? We've been adding more data, more information to help people make decisions. But I think there's also something to be said for this just being a false narrative. Like, the brokers weren't charging commissions to make it so that you think really hard about every trade. They were charging commissions because they wanted to make more money.
Sure, and we're not saying that the brokers had it figured out.
And they don't
right?
have, poor
so
user interfaces.
We're not here to be like, why don't you do it like the brokers? We're curious about, and we're getting away from the GameStop thing, and that's fine. We can come back to it. But like, we're talking about you democratizing finance, which is a noble mission, but we're wondering if you guys missed any marks along the way, right? Because, and for me, it was pretty eye-opening. We were doing a little research, and what I found out was, people weren't only pissed about GameStop. You've been at the center of controversy before all that. There's been a lot of, SEC probes. I mean, I just found out you had I think the largest fine from FINRA ever.
That's true.
Like, that's a pretty, that's a nice little record that
And that
Robinhood holds.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Part of that was because when a broker executes a trade on behalf of a client, they're either charging commission or they're funneling it payment for order flow style. And when you do payment for order flow style, you've got to disclose that. And is that what Robinhood neglected to do, and for which you guys got fined?
Well, I'd say there were a lot of things in that order.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have read it, but it's just like a
Yeah,
collection
we've got
of
some of it right here. The FINRA on Wednesday levied its largest fine ever against popular investing app Robinhood, known for letting customers trade stocks through an app. Will pay $57 million in fines in addition to $12.6 million in restitution to customers.
Yeah.
Democratizing finance. Over the course of its investigation, FINRA found that Robinhood violated regulations and showed false and misleading information to customers. That's not great.
Well, which
Some customers were allowed to place trades with borrowed money, even though they'd turned off that setting in the app, according to FINRA. So, like, this is the kind of stuff we're trying to get at. Like, we love democratizing finance and giving people access and stuff. So, what
totally.
Did you guys make mistakes?
Certainly, we've made mistakes. I mean, we operate software. We have a service. A lot of times, there's bugs in that software, and we've gotten a lot better at this over time. But what I'd say is that, it's a mission that we believe in, getting people into the markets, giving them tools that only rich people have had access to in the past. And we have to work within the system. There's a lot of rules. There's a lot of legacy that we have to work around. It's true for how we make money. It's true for the things around the GameStop stuff. And it's a long-term game for us, right? If we want to change the system, it's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to be forward progress. Sometimes we'll have setbacks, but we really believe in this, and we think that we've made a ton of progress thus far, and there's a lot more to do. But we're not gonna. I mean, it's not going to involve doing everything right, but we have to learn from our mistakes and improve.
Right, and I wouldn't ask you to do everything right, but I mean, I think it's a little.
Well, I would. You gotta ask.
I mean, honestly, I would.
Legally, you gotta do everything right.
I think I would ask you to do everything right. Right, you're asking people to, and that's the thing. We asked you why you're here, and you said you want to talk about the Robinhood mission, and I think I would ask you to do everything right and make sure that you're asking people to use your app to put their money in and to potentially lose some money, right? And so I think at the very least that app wouldn't be buggy to the point of showing people like massive mistakes.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. But
and I
what
think I think it could be very frustrating hearing someone say something like, just like, oh, this is unacceptable. Like, all you get is a blog post on Robinhood. I think that's probably really unsatisfying to users of your app.
And that lends itself to a question I have: is like, what can Robinhood do, in your view, to make up for that kind of thing? I mean, you've implemented changes. I know that when you log on as a new user, you're given a questionnaire to build a profile around who you are as an investor, as a trader. Measures your level of sophistication, then it funnels you. I mean, you have the option to opt out, but it funnels you toward low-cost, safer ETFs. Yeah,
we built that product recently. Mm-hmm. We're very excited about it. So it actually one of the things.
And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, one of the things that's very hard as a broker is making investment recommendations. Maybe you know about this, but brokers historically stay away from that because, they want to be in a position where people make their own decisions and they just give you the information. And we asked ourselves, with this product, how can we actually embrace it? Like, let's give people recommendations. Mm-hmm. And especially for the people that want to invest, but they don't know how to start. Maybe they don't have a specific stock that they want to buy. And we have a lot of those people. A lot of first-timers know that they want to invest, but they want a little bit of help finding the right things to take the first step on. So I think investment recommendations and giving them a diversified portfolio of 4 or 5 ETFs is just a really powerful thing.
Hey guys, we want to take a quick break to thank another sponsor of today's episode, Stamps.com. Time is money. Don't waste either with repeated trips to the post office. With Stamps.com, you skip the trip and focus on how to take your small business to the next level. Stamps.com lets you print official postage right from your computer and saves you money in the process. So you can spend less time at the post office and more time making your customers happy.
I hate going to the post office. It takes so much time. As much as I'm a task boy and I love tasks, I like going to the bank, okay? Because the bank's where the money is.
The post office?
Stinks. It stinks.
There's a reason it's called going postal.
So going to the post office takes so much time these days, so Stamps is a must-have.
Stamps.com. Oh, never mind. Stamps.com saves you time, money, and stress. For more than 20 years, Stamps.com has been indispensable for over 1 million businesses. Stamps.com gives you access to all the post office and UPS shipping services you need right from your computer.
Stop overpaying for shipping with Stamps.com. Sign up with promo code TRILL for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, free postage, and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the page, and enter code TRILL. And that's great. And I think what Emil is getting at is it almost seems...
Well, here, I can get to it. So, I mean...
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was reading a lot about you, and I think I was most interested in the GameStop stuff, and I honestly think I became way more interested in your guys' founding story and kind of these earlier controversies. I think it was a Huffington Post profile you and Baiju did. Am I saying that right?
Beiju.
Sorry about that. you and Beju did, and there, you guys were saying that Occupy Wall Street was a big
Yeah. A lot of people don't remember
inspiration for you
Occupy
guys.
Wall Street now.
Oh, I think plenty of people remember Occupy Wall Street, and I'm curious, what about Occupy Wall Street inspired you guys?
I mean, I remember
Because
back,
I don't remember everyone being like, we need access to financial instruments.
Yeah. Well, if you look back in 2008 and the financial crisis, and I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, but what happened was people didn't really understand the source of this. They knew that the banks were selling mortgage-backed securities. There was a lot of collateralized debt obligations, and they brought the system down, right? And the government came in and bailed out the banks and
Nobody
pumped a
went to
lot of
jail.
money into the system.
But look, I think people remember that very clearly. Like I think when you're talking about like people not remembering Occupy Wall Street and all this, I think people remember all of that very clearly, and I think that's
Some people do.
But I think that's
But you have some people that were like 4 when
sure,
that
but I
happened,
think
right?
a large portion of why we're at today is people remembering being left out in the dust when
Absolutely.
the world economy went into a tailspin. So
They were left out in the dust. Nobody really got
and
punished.
the bankers were not.
The bankers were not.
Right.
And you saw the recovery from that, right? The market bottomed in 2008, 2009, and then the recovery accrued to rich people, the people that were already at the top. And why did that happen? Well, because rich people own stocks, and the recovery helped people that own stocks. And so that led to the Occupy Wall Street movement. Young people, and a lot of our friends at the time, we were in New York we were working on another business. And I remember, our apartment was in Brooklyn. We had a small co-working space in Manhattan, and we would walk through Zuccotti Park. We would walk through the tents, right? And it was young people.
And you went, one day I'm going to be one of those bankers sipping champagne.
No, I mean...
I'm just messing with you, Vlad.
Yeah, definitely not. But these were people that looked at financial services and said, like, this isn't serving me, right? Who is this serving? And they were quite literally occupying it. And that sort of clicked something in our heads, and it made us realize, well, what is this going to actually achieve? Like the way you really occupy it is you actually get these people to start investing and to benefit, just like the wealthy people and the institutions do from a rising stock market, by having them participate and join the market. Now, the problem was nobody trusted the financial institutions. The stock market was really meant for rich people. You were being charged $10 every time you trade. They had account minimums of thousands of dollars at the time, and nobody was building great products. So that we set out to fix that.
So you guys saw it and said, we're going to give everyone stocks.
Yeah, we're going to give everyone access to stocks on a level playing field. And at first, it was baby steps, right? We started with stocks. We started with iPhone users only. But you look at the platform now, and we have real-time fractional shares. So even some stocks that are too expensive for people to buy a whole share of, you have Berkshire Hathaway shares, for example, Amazon, companies that were trading at thousands or hundreds of thousands per share. And we break them apart, allow you to buy a dollar amount of that stock as easily as you would buy a whole share with great pricing and no commissions. So it's literally never been easier or better value-wise to be an investor. And it's not just Robinhood. Like, lots of companies have sort of co-opted and adopted this cause. And we saw last year, it turned into a mass movement where more young people have been investing, more diverse people have been investing than ever before.
It seems like there was, because I hear what you're saying and I agree. There have been, again, the critics of Robinhood would say that the gamification of something complex like trading, like investing, is akin to giving a 12-year-old the keys to a sports car, which is like, sure, but also, I mean, that's what you're going to say as a paid investment advisor, where you don't want people to do it for themselves. But then me also as a trader, it scares the shit out of me when someone I know says, like, hey, what stocks should I buy? And I go, okay, well, what's your objective? Are you trying to be a trader or are you trying to be an investor? Because if you're an investor, you should do blah, blah, blah. So it seems like there were perhaps certain things that you guys just didn't see that maybe you should have seen. Like, especially me as a trader, knowing, okay, people are fucking gambler degenerates, you know? If you give them access to this stuff, they're not going to necessarily be like, ooh, I hit my milestone. It's going to be like, all right, I can fucking trade. Let me just like trade. But it's also like, some people do that, some people don't. You might get the 12-year-old who hops behind the wheel of the Porsche and goes, baby, I'm going to cruise 25 miles per hour down this residential street and stop fully at every stop sign.
No one's doing that. That's baby shit.
People, that's baby shit?
Yeah.
But like, it seems like you guys really could have benefited from having way better quality control. You needed a product manager like me, honestly, to get into. I'm serious.
Well,
to get in there, experience. I'm not saying that you didn't, but I'm just the best.
Ask the question.
I guess I don't even know what
Okay.
question I'm getting. Well, hold on. It's like you guys could have had a better compliance person. Glenn, shout out to you. You should have been the compliance guy to check the shit that
full
they got
disclosure,
fined on.
we beat our FINRA investigation.
We did
We'd
have
like
a
to
small-
say we're no longer under investigation. No fines. I don't know what this guy's doing. I don't know how he racked up like fucking 59 million.
But and it seems like there were plenty of cases, repeated cases, where it was like, damn, where was the quality control? Is the quality control the right thing I'm looking for?
Yes,
Like
for sure.
people using every possible angle in the app to catch any and all bugs that would show improper account balances, options errors that could be catastrophic, you know, all sorts of, like, where do you guys think that you failed and how have you fixed it to ensure that kind of shit doesn't happen going forward? Because that's like the one of the biggest problems, I think, to giving the 12-year-old the keys to the Porsche.
And do you guys think you failed?
To be clear, 12-year-olds can't use Robinhood. You have to be 18. So the people using Robinhood are definitely adults, right? But yeah, to your question, I mean, we remember all of the issues that we've had. You know, we remember the dates.
Name them for us.
March 2nd, 2020 was a big one.
Brutal.
You remember March 2nd, 2020?
What happened?
I believe that was when the market just about bottomed.
So the market, actually, I think on that particular day, it was written in the papers as the largest single day point gain in the big indices. So the market actually went up, but yeah, there was so much volume on our systems. This was right at the beginning of the pandemic. The market had crashed and was very volatile. There were lockdowns. So we had a lot of activity. A lot of people just rushed into the platform.
Sure.
And we had basically a full trading day outage, which was very tough, right? But, you know, it was hard to plan for, hard to anticipate all of these things coming together. And we responded to it. You know, we rebuilt so much of our infrastructure. We added lots and lots of people, making sure to shore up the software and the tools.
But I guess we're talking about more about the times where you didn't respond to it.
Well, I'd like to think we've always responded to it, right? So, I mean, we operate software. We serve a lot of people. We've had a lot of growth. So
yeah, and
nothing is going to be perfect with any piece of software, but we always try to do what's best for our customers.
Do you think you fell victim to the whole, you know, Silicon Valley growth, and didn't pay enough attention to your own technology and investing in your technology to make sure you didn't have these kind of problems?
Well, from the very beginning, we've invested a lot in technology, but
because from the New York Times article, 4 of your employees said the outage, said one of these outages was rooted in issues with the company's phone app and servers. They said the startup had underinvested in technology and moved too quickly rather than carefully.
I think it's always easy to say this stuff in hindsight, right? When you have an outage, that, you know, you should have invested more. And I think, you know, there's always things that looking back we could have done better, but you know, what we can do is learn from them and make sure that we do what we can to make it so that they don't happen again. And, you know, since it's funny you talk about January 28th, right? Our previous big sort of defining moment, the March March 2nd, 2020, it was about our systems not being able to handle the volume. Well, January 28th, our systems saw
Of
like
2021.
an order of 2021
Mhm.
around the GameStop events, orders of magnitude more volume,
Right.
right? And we were definitely all hands on deck trying to make sure the systems were up and people could have access to their accounts, and we didn't have any system-wide outages. So we had basically fixed a lot of the problems from before, but of course, anytime you run into a new situation, you get new types of problems, and you have to address those as they come up.
Sure. So, speaking of January 28th, we got to talk about just the timeline, because leading up, it was at first a quiet kind of thing. You had the guy who, oddly enough, kind of looks like you. That's
Sure.
that's a thing. And then
It's a simulation, right? The universe working in unexpected ways.
Sure, and I do also have to point out there's a beautiful poetic irony in Robinhood essentially creating the very thing that led to this big backlash against it, because you guys gave all these apes, they call themselves apes. All these people.
They do.
You gave a ton of people access to a thing that I don't think anybody fully understood. I don't think anybody could have seen coming, because, me and my infinite wisdom and my years of experience.
God provides.
I was going to say Allahu Akbar,
Yeah,
but
don't.
it's not bad. It just means,
Just ask the fucking question.
Sorry.
Christ.
I lost my train of thought, but I guess
You were talking about the poetic irony.
yeah,
in-
in Robinhood creating the thing that would eventually it was Frankenstein's monster, and Frankenstein's monster famously goes back and kills Dr. Frankenstein. He doesn't. I think he goes on and marries a zombie or something, right? What happens in Frankenstein?
Frankenstein fucks the monster.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then
So-
they have a baby, and that baby was
becomes
Robinhood.
Was Robinhood. That's right. I was going to say was GameStop. Can you just walk us through
Fucking
in no uncertain
Frankenstein.
terms the timeline from just before it got to chaos leading up to January 28th, the decisions that you guys made as a company, and we'll ask you questions along the way, because that's what people want to know. And I'm sure you've done it so many fucking times
Wait,
that you're
didn't
in
we-
the shower pounding against the
Didn't
tiles.
we give him something before he explained this?
What do you? No, the gift?
Yeah.
No, that's going to come later.
Well, I feel like
Oh,
it might
wow.
be a nice time
No,
for the gift.
no. It's because it's going to come as the prize. It's a prize.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
sure.
remember?
I feel like we're missing a good opportunity here, but
Let's wait for the prize for
right.
the game. We have a small game to play, but it's fine. So walk
Okay.
us through it,
it's
please.
nothing gross. It's a little gross.
It's not gross.
Now I'm nervous. Let's see. So how early should I start? I guess I talked a little bit about, the pandemic and the companies that have been hit hard by it.
Let's start January 2021. It's
Yeah.
starting to bubble up. It's starting to become increasingly more mainstream as GameStop is like, I remember for me, it was when it was $19 a share, I think around January 5th. And
Yeah.
I was like, hot diggity dog. I saw that I personally fucked up big time. I had 5,000 shares at like $16.
Okay.
And I got fucking locked out of your app. I couldn't get in. I was trying to buy.
When on January 5th?
No.
On the
Way
28th.
later. Like the 26th or 27th.
Oh, they saw this
And then
guy's
you
an
guys,
idiot.
You guys,
we don't
you
want
guys
to give
wouldn't
him.
approve my stuff. I don't know if you guys looked at my data, saw what a moron I was, but
They saw through your camera. They were looking through your front-facing
Yeah.
camera, and they're like,
I'm
"Look
one
at
of these
this."
people who would have gladly bought at 500 and held.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's start. Yeah, when the squeeze started, it was, let's just call it in the $20 range. I mean, you guys obviously were probably thrilled beyond belief, because more and more people are, by the day, I'm sure, are downloading Robinhood to participate, to buy shares.
Yeah, it was really exciting. I mean,
Sure.
people were using our platform, and while we weren't the revolutionaries in a sense. We weren't the ones holding the spears and
So
doing
you
this
still very
battle.
much believe that these people were revolutionaries, because it's fun. We were talking about this. There's a
Yeah.
1,000 different takes. Some people are like, this is a proletarian revolution. The other ones are like, this is a bunch of morons on the internet.
I think it was both.
Well,
I'm
but
asking
go
him.
on. Oh, sorry. Well,
Christ.
yeah, the question was geared toward me, but
No, it was not at all. He called it
Well, certainly-
revolutionaries.
I know I'm kidding.
certainly that was one of the storylines, right? That people
But I'm
were
asking what you believe.
using our platform to take down the hedge funds.
So what do you?
And I think you saw that happening, right? A lot of hedge funds
do
had
you
really
view them?
big. How do I view them?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say that this was a financial revolution of sorts.
Okay. A
Right.
working class revolution.
Yeah, and a lot of the meme stock companies, a lot of the meme stocks were companies that were sort of battered by the pandemic. You know, nobody was going to buy video games at a store, nobody was going to movies at the time, and a lot of these companies had no control over that situation. There were government mandated lockdowns that basically put them out of business. So I think the people believed in them and wanted to keep them around. And there was the whole element of sticking it to the man, the establishment, the hedge funds as well.
We love to stick it to the man.
Yeah.
So timeline.
So, you know, we saw that happening in January. I think back in December, it was starting to pick up steam on Reddit and Discord and all the other social media sites. And we saw our traffic just increasing right around the start of the new year. And there was a lot happening in crypto as well at the same time. So it was kind of the perfect storm. And Robinhood was climbing up the App Store charts, right? It used to be, if you look at the App Store charts, you know, it was in maybe the 20th spot at the beginning of the year. And I don't know if a brokerage has ever been in the number one spot before, but, you know, the number one apps on the App Store were all TikTok and Instagram and sort of the big social media platforms that grow virally. And pretty soon, Robinhood was number one overall on the App Store, the number one free app. I mean, we were getting millions of downloads. And you might think, like, this is all very exciting. You guys must have been celebrating. But it was actually, I mean, we were all hands on deck trying to make sure that what happened in March of the previous year with our service being down didn't happen again.
You guys
Because
find yourselves all hands on deck a lot.
hopefully less and less now. I think we've made a ton of progress. But, you know, I don't think a brokerage had ever been the number one free app on the App Store before. And there's good that comes with that. There's also a lot of challenges. So we wanted to make sure we kept the service alive and well, and that people could access their stocks, buy them and sell them whenever they wanted. That was top priority. And, you know, it was definitely a very high octane environment. January 27th, you kind of saw a bunch of weird stuff started happening that day. And we actually weren't sure what was going on. I think Discord locked out Wall Street bets. I think the subreddit went down for some reason as well. And we weren't really sure what the reason was, but we were,
just because they kept using the R word, though.
it could have been that, but there were a lot that was kind of the beginning of the conspiracy theories, right?
Sorry.
Where people were like, hey, the government maybe came in and forced them to shut this down.
Right.
But we weren't sure. We were tracking it online like everyone else. But, you know, I remember Discord shutting down Wall Street bets. I remember Reddit taking it offline. And then, you know, as I've said, as I've gone through so many times, I get woken up. So I haven't been getting much sleep those days, but I try to get a couple of hours of sleep, right? And I get woken up at, I want to say 5 a.m, sometime around 5:30. And my phone is just buzzing uncontrollably. Like, have you ever seen on social media when like some celebrity, like the Kardashians, post something on Instagram and then you just see their notifications buzzing
Mm-hmm.
That
like
was
crazy?
You had posted that sexy shirtless pic the night before, and it finally,
Maybe that's
the
it.
algorithm
Finally went viral.
picked it
You
up.
posted ass to the timeline.
You posted
Yeah.
ass to the timeline.
So essentially, my phone was unusable, right? Text messages coming in, random phone calls from blocked numbers.
Mhm.
And, you know, I was trying to get in touch with my team, right? And people were calling me from work, but every 2 seconds I would just get a call from an unknown number, a text. So I had to sort that out. But basically by the time I was awake, the conspiracy theory that, Robinhood sided with the hedge funds to shut down trading.
You and Ken Griffin got
Kissed.
on the phone.
Yeah, exactly. That stuff. And also, there was one about the White House calling me to shut it down. I don't know if you guys saw that circulating, but, the
So it's
conspiracy
you,
theories
Joe
had
Biden, Ken Griffin.
all around the table talking about, restricting stocks.
Really?
Well, so wait.
We're going to clip that.
But
in.
yeah, wow, I can't believe it. He admitted. Hey guys, we want to take a quick break to thank another sponsor of today's episode, Manscaped. Emil, roses are red, violets are blue. Don't let a wild pube wreck you. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and our sponsors at Manscaped are here for you with the best tools to get your balls ready for the special occasion. This Valentine's Day, it's time to join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. With our special offer, go to manscaped.com and use code TRILL for 20% off plus free shipping.
Oh, gosh. So we all know Valentine's Day is coming up. And, some of you guys might have a big date coming up.
Uh-huh.
And, what's the worst thing to happen on a Valentine's Day date?
That would have to be dirty balls.
Dirty, hairy, real mess of balls. And what's the only way you could fix that? Manscaped. The holidays went by so quickly. Did you remember to take care of your package with the best tools for the job? The Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped is just the thing every guy needs in their life to make each and every day just a little more special.
The number one product in this package is the Lawnmower 4.0. This electric trimmer is designed to trim hair on loose skin.
What a weird thing for an engineer to work on.
This package also includes the Weed Whacker. The nose and ear trimmer to whack all the worst of your weeds. Manscaped created their products for a night just like this and will make your Valentine's date say, "Wow, great set of balls you have there."
Go to manscaped.com for our exclusive offer of 20% off plus free shipping with the code TRILL. Your balls and special someone will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code TRILL at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code TRILL. Join Cupid and shoot your arrow with Manscaped this Valentine's Day.
So your phone's blowing up on the morning of January 28th. Is that because people on your team have already gotten the call from the DTCC to halt trading?
It was beyond that. I think we had already...
This is 5 a.m. East Coast time. Pacific time. Okay.
Yeah.
So trading had already been open. Pre-market trading had already been open for what? A couple hours.
Well, Robinhood's
Or 1 hour.
pre-market
And you're snoozing on everybody.
started at 6. So no, it was pre-market.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, by that time, they had already made the decision to restrict. And I'm not a broker. I'm not the president of the clearing firm. So I wasn't the one that made the decision, right?
Mhm.
There was a clearing firm.
Ken Griffin was.
No. But yeah, the conspiracy theory basically had taken hold while it was before I even got a chance to connect with the team. And so from that point on, we were sort of like trying to get the story out, but
Sure.
it's always difficult to explain to people when you're competing against such an exciting conspiracy story, and people love to believe that, right? The hedge funds somehow colluded with these people to shut down the little guy, but the real story was, I guess, much more boring and pedantic and less interesting. So there's still people that,
So we think.
to this very
This is what
day,
you're telling us.
there's many people to this day that believe that we were colluding with hedge funds, even though when you look at everything that Robinhood stands for and who we are, we're all about empowering the little guy and giving them access and giving them a chance to.
So do you think you failed by restricting that access?
I mean, I think if we look back on it, certainly we would have liked to not have to do that. But that's where you get into the reality of us being a disruptor, having to deal with the rules of a legacy financial system, right? We have to abide by these rules. We are working from within the system itself. And there's a lot of things that are just old and crufty and not built for what we saw in January.
What's
So-
crufty mean?
Crufty means just like it was intended for a
Crufter.
different time.
Cool.
For institutions trading very normally and not piling into a handful of stocks at the same time in large numbers.
For those of, I can't remember if we touched on this before, but so my understanding of, because I, admittedly, when January 28th happened, I remember sitting at home in my chat rooms with all my little nerdy trading buddies going, this is shady as hell. This is what timing. Like, wow, they're turning off the buy button. It's literally all they could do to stop this. Because that day, the VIX was up like 66%. Because the degrossing trade was the buzz of Wall Street, is that someone is so fucked, some hedge fund or funds are so fucked that they've got to dump everything that they've got. But so T+2, you trade and then 2 more days until you actually own the shares. And in that 2-day period is where Robinhood is on the hook for the amount of money.
We have to put up the money for the
You
trades.
have to put up the collateral.
Out of
And basically,
corporate cash. Yeah.
the clearinghouse came to not only you, but to every other broker. Webull, eToro, E-Trade, Schwab, all of them.
Yep.
And said, hey, you guys got to there's too much risk, because they will do that, especially when it's incredibly one-sided, like it was with GameStop and all the other meme stocks.
It's just a formula. It's rules based, right? They don't really have a ton of discretion. And I'll tell you where this came about, oddly enough. Have you guys ever heard of a law called Dodd-Frank?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So
In the
Dodd-Frank,
wake of 2008, yeah.
in the wake of 2008, they wanted to make sure that financial institutions were robust and had plenty of capital in case, things went haywire, because they didn't want another Lehman Brothers situation. So oddly enough, the rules for how much cash you have to put up to maintain the trading activity were actually created to prevent that type of situation. And of course, nobody anticipated a situation like meme stocks. And we found ourselves actually at a time when, the activity legitimately, maybe there was some risk to it. Like there was some risk of people funding their accounts, buying these meme stocks that were super high, and then maybe the trade didn't go in the direction they wanted, and they would go and reverse their deposit, right? But I think that risk was substantially lower than what Dodd-Frank was created to address. But really, you mentioned settlement. I think that helps solve it. If we improve the settlement structure that the market uses, which is really, it doesn't make any sense. We have all of this technology and it still takes 2 days for trades to settle. And there's lots of people that like for it to take 2 days, but we think that it should be done in real time. And I think that would alleviate a lot of these problems.
Sure. So a big question that I have, what do you think would have happened if you guys hadn't done anything? If you had not turned off the buy button, if you had just let it continue to go unchecked, what do you personally think would have happened to GameStop, to the markets?
And are you talking about to Robinhood, for example, if we just didn't pay our calls to clearinghouses? Or if the system had been different.
If the system had been different and you didn't need that collateral, and if you had been better prepared, because I understand when you say that nobody could have seen this coming, because truly nobody could have seen something like that coming. But also it's like, how come you didn't when the stock was at 200 a share and 250 and getting up there?
Well, that was just like a day before, right?
That's true. But weren't you guys starting to prepare to raise cash?
We did end up raising a lot of
$1
cash.
billion.
More, I think $3.6 billion by the end of the weekend. And yeah, I mean, it's very hard to raise that type of cash in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, buddy.
Not
you
even
wanna
close.
donate, again,
Yeah.
find us on Venmo. But so, yeah, what do you believe would have happened? Because everybody seems to believe that GameStop would have squeezed to $1 million a share. Everybody would have been rich beyond belief. And I think that if that were true also, then the degrossing trade would have taken its effect, and it very well could have crashed the markets. And that's not to say that that would have been the fault of the GameStop traders, because I know people reamed me for that last time. I'm just saying that that's what the effect very well may have been. So what do you think would have happened if you guys had never turned off the buy button and if collateral weren't an issue?
It's really hard to speculate on that. I mean,
Sure.
I would say that if you look at the SEC actually rolled out a report on the GameStop January 28th events a few months ago. I think it was September of last year. And, there was all this talk about a short squeeze, the shorts covering. But then if you look at the data, very little of it was actually shorts covering. Most of the hedge funds that had short positions had closed them out earlier in that week, right? Melvin Capital, for instance, I think closed their position on Monday or Tuesday. So that was the story. But really what they found was a lot of the price increase was people just buying, right? Retail investors just buying
And options.
at that point. I don't know if the options were actually a big part of it. I mean, maybe
Really?
they were. I don't. I think it was mostly just the underlying. But what
'Cause,
would have happened?
You look at Tesla, the same kind of thing happened with Tesla, with options and with people buying out.
Well, I think that was actually a short squeeze.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen the data on that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were quite a bit different. So what would have happened? So much of it has to do with the psychology, since the buying was due to individual investors just jumping on it. And, I don't know what would have happened had no trading restrictions been made by other brokers.
Like, do you think that there was a systemic risk in having it squeezed to infinity? I mean, I guess obviously there is, right? The degrossing trade felt like a very real possibility, and that's kind of what the mumblings about Wall Street was like, oh shit, maybe this is the real deal here, right?
Yeah. Well, that's why I think it's hard to do this in the hypothetical. Had there been no requirements, no restrictions, you don't know what would have happened.
Right. So there are people out there who truly believe that you personally robbed them of millions of dollars. Dave Portnoy, who sucks ass, lost $700,000 good. But like, how do you respond to that when people point the finger at you? Because you were.
He said you should be in jail.
Yeah, he said you should be in jail, bub.
Yeah. He did say that.
He certainly did say that, didn't he?
Yeah.
But like, what do you?
And
how
again,
do you,
I remember getting much worse messages than that when I was awakened at 5 a.m. by my buzzing phone.
I'm sure. So like, how do you respond to those people who say, like, who have a personal hatred for you because of this, who believe that you pulled the rug on what could have changed their lives?
And what you're calling a revolution, a financial revolution.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the biggest thing on our minds at the time was, first of all, making sure that customers had access to their accounts. They could close their positions.
Right.
Right. And I know a lot of people ask, like, why didn't you close down both sides of the trade? Right.
Yes.
I think this was
Portnoy said that.
This was something that Portnoy was all about. Like, why just, prevent people from buying? And it wasn't really us preventing people from buying. It was just us preventing people from opening new positions. So put options, for example, were also, you couldn't open up a new put option position at the time on Robinhood. So we closed down both shorts and longs.
The initiating of any new position.
Even though Robinhood doesn't support shorting. But if we had supported shorting, my guess is we would have stopped initiating that position too. So the reason behind that is people could technically open accounts at other brokers and buy GameStop or AMC, right? I mean, most people were using Robinhood. A lot of other brokers also ended up shutting down access because they couldn't handle it either. But the worst thing to do is to prevent someone from selling stock that they want to get out of, because we weren't the only place that allowed people to buy all these stocks. So if people really wanted to, they could have opened a brokerage account elsewhere and bought GameStop.
I was able to, trade freely on my platform.
Yeah. So there were lots of places where you can buy. If you own GameStop or AMC or any of these other stocks on Robinhood, you could only sell on Robinhood, right?
Right.
So that's why I think preventing people from selling was not something that we wanted to do. So what do I say to the person, to your question?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Robinhood
You can look right into the camera too.
And apologize if you'd like.
Yeah, the camera, not the screen. If
I
you'd
think
like.
if we look back on it, Robinhood is all about the individual investor. We don't want anyone to feel left behind. We think January 28th was an example of what happens when millions of people can access the markets and exercise their right to democratically vote for the companies they believe in. And that's what Robinhood is all about. It's democracy and capitalism in one. So, we obviously could have done things differently. In a sense, we lost the battle there.
And it was a perfect denouement of they got to show you, yes, we're just like American democracy, where your vote doesn't really matter.
And look, I think the best thing we can do is try to improve the system, make it so that it really works for retail investors to do whatever they want to do. And, that's why I've supported moving to T+0, fixing the settlement cycle, and also why we capitalized the business with a ton of money, right? Where we raised over $3 billion to make sure that if something like this were to happen again, we would just have a bulletproof balance sheet.
The only type of balance sheet worth having.
All right, so we're getting
we want to play a game
we're
with
getting
you.
pressured. You have a hard out. We have truly a million more questions for you.
Well, should we do the Charlie Munger thing or the game first?
Let's do the game with them because
Okay.
it sounds like they might be running in and
We have a
grabbing
game
at that
called
moment.
Guess That Stock Chart that we do every so often. And
It's very fun.
Yeah, where we have you guess.
I have to be very careful here, I think.
Oh, no, it's
because
okay. You're not going to be,
yeah,
wow, look
that's-
at us up there.
Yeah,
Hey,
okay.
boy, baby, I
So-
don't even drink, and look at that pathetic thing. So we've got some charts here that we'll be pulling up any second now.
And we're gonna ask you we're gonna see if you can guess the chart.
Yeah.
It's just a simple.
There's a prize
Guess
at
the
the end of it.
Yeah.
I, of course, know what these charts are because I
don't. I
picked
haven't
them.
cheated. I can
Do
try to.
you've got a good idea of where this is going, I'm sure.
No, I don't. What's going on with the charts?
Yeah.
There we go.
There's the first one. This is actually a pretty good one.
I'm gonna take a guess.
This is these are all daily charts.
Wait, I think I know what it is.
What?
Am I right?
I cannot say. What do you think, Vlad?
Oh, I have no idea.
Because we got no price. You throw out a guess. It's been in a downtrend, recent little spike.
I don't even know if I can mention individual stocks.
Oh,
I don't
my
know.
God.
Oh, my
have
God.
a little fun. Finra
Whisper it.
Finra's
What do
already
you
got
think?
you on the line for 60 million. Just have a little
It's
fun.
just a guess.
Is it a fitness company?
Yes, it is.
Yes. All right. He got it.
It's Peloton. Okay, what's the next one? What have we got? Oh,
Ooh,
another one
looks
that's
kinda
going down.
similar.
Ooh, it certainly does. If Peloton was any kind of, that was a good guess, and it's in the similar vein. It's
Oh, is it
clearly
a growth stock?
It is clearly a growth stock that has recently fallen from grace. Any come to mind?
Is it?
This is for Vlad to guess.
Well, I want to have a little
But,
fun.
yeah, I
He's-
guess.
You should have fun. I kind of got the first one.
Well, I had already gotten it before too.
Oh, yeah.
You go. Come on.
I mean, this one, this is really hard to say. I don't know. It just looks like there was a little downtrend there.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a social media company?
No, it is
No.
not.
What is it?
It's Zoom.
Oh,
Zoom
okay.
Technologies.
What's the next one?
What's the next one we've got here? This one's going to be
Look at this one,
Very-
up like a rocket
Yeah,
ship.
wow, holy shit.
This one has to be.
What
I
do you
don't know.
think?
For the audio listener, this one is having a very
Yeah,
good
this one
Is
looks
this
like it's
time.
having a rock solid uptrend.
Is it upside down?
How did you know that?
Huh?
It is inverted.
Yeah.
It is the Robinhood stock chart, but inverted. There's the actual.
There's the
Hey,
actual-
yeah, we got a little bit of it. Yeah.
Wow,
there,
you can
there it is.
recognize your stock even.
I knew what gave it away. Those two big candles when you guys first IPO'd, huh? You were like, I knew those candles because they were just in my dreams for the longest time, and I would recognize
Yeah.
them anywhere,
You
even
didn't-
inverted.
You didn't think that you didn't think that I would get that. No, it was the colors. I was a little bit confused to see the green candles
Fuck.
going
Yeah.
down.
Fuck me.
God damn.
it. I fucked up.
Yeah,
Well,
but you
kudos
can't
You
even
have to-
you can't even mention your
Who would have thought the math PhD dropout
your
tricked
PR
little
people
old...
informed us you're not allowed to talk about Robinhood stock at all.
Yeah, well,
is
we
that
do-
because of is that a compliance thing or is that just because it's a really bad idea to invest?
It's a compliance thing.
Oh, okay.
We do have a gift for you. It is a hat that says, oops, sorry about that. Because, you've been on an apology tour, sort of, and there have been mistakes, and I think anytime you need to,
You could just
You could
for your
just-
future.
I don't know if
appearances.
I would call it an apology tour, but I do like the hat.
Oops, sorry about that.
There
Can
it
we-
is.
can
Wait,
put
we
it
gotta
down
put
a
the
little
bill down a little bit. Yeah.
bit? And then can we get a
I
mention?
really need to get a subscription to Lids because, God almighty, do they get a lot of money from me when I go and make these stupid little fucking hats. Yeah, I
It's a
wasn't
little
sure how
big for me.
Oh, it's big for you.
You'll grow into it.
Oh, God.
Just a couple more hands-on
wait.
deck events, and
Okay.
we'll
My brain
Yeah,
will expand
right.
and push out my skull.
I
right?
was gonna say you got a pretty big head on you, and because that's it's okay for me to say that because I have a huge head.
I don't know. I mean, not
You have
big
a
enough
big
for
head.
this hat, I
It's
guess.
7 3/4, but you look good on it.
Thank you.
In it.
oops, sorry about that.
Yeah. Oops. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So we wanted to get into how Robinhood makes money, and before you even answer, we've got a TikTok here from our friend Charlie Munger. Do
Okay.
you know Charlie Munger?
I do.
Big fan
Yeah.
of yours.
Charlie
Yeah.
Munger, who famously looks like a brown paper bag full of wet dog shit. He looks like what his last name is, Munger. He just looks like a pile
I
of Munger.
love the commitment to making so much money but getting no work done.
Yeah, he's 98 years old, and we've got this TikTok. This is what, goddamn, he looks dead. But this is what he says about you guys. The volume button is currently muted on it. Here we go.
Robinhood trades are not free. When you pay for order flow, you're probably charging your customers more and pretending to be free. It's a very dishonorable, low-grade way to talk, and nobody should believe that Robinhood's trades are free.
Okay, so yeah, that's got to be a frustrating thing, right? Because I understand the payment for order flow.
Yeah.
That's how you guys make your money, right?
Well, and some of these newer companies have been able to do it without order flow, right?
Well,
Like eToro does it without. They charge you for withdrawing. They charge you for other things.
I think
they nickel
Public's
and dime
another
you.
one who does it without order flow too.
Right, they do. They tip.
yeah, I think the important thing to sort of mention with this one, and it is one of these very technical topics like settlement. But I think at a high level, one of the things that customers love most about our product, we talk to customers all the time. They love the order execution quality, right? It's one of the things we rate most highly on. And we pride ourselves on giving customers a great deal. And it's not just not charging them commissions, it's also the execution quality. We publish our statistics on our website. We can tell you, how you're doing. We have all of the effective over quoted and all of the stats. And I think we do very, very well. And it is something that is very important. It's important for customers to know about their execution quality. Some customers really care about where their orders are being routed, and we try to give people as much information as possible and give them a great deal.
I'm an ARCA boy myself.
An ARCA boy?
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that rebate, baby. So I guess, we're running out of fucking
I
time
mean, we
here.
just got the.
I gotta ask you. Okay, so I have a few things to wrap up here. First of all, how fucking pissed are you at Beiju? Is that his name?
Yeah,
Beiju?
his hands have been
He's
clean in
just
this whole
not only
fucking
does he,
thing.
according to the internet, have a little bit more money than you.
A lot of bit more money.
Yeah, but like he just, yeah, buddy, you, and to that effect, a lot of people hate you and are mad at you and whatnot. Why not just quit? Just say, okay, fuck it, I'm out of here. And let me pitch you on this. Because if you were to quit, and I'm not encouraging you to, this is just my idea, and I am dead serious. If you were to quit, it would probably give an immediate boost to the stock. You'd make immediate money. Everybody would make
New
immediate
leadership.
money.
We're putting all
New
that stuff
leadership.
behind us.
Your wife would probably be relieved because I'm sure she doesn't like
No more
the
5:30
stress.
a.m. calls.
Seriously. And like it could be
No more all hands on deck.
like,
Some hands on deck.
it could be like Papa John's. Papa John's, when Papa John left, and I'm not comparing you to him, but
Yep.
they brought in Shaq. Everybody loves Shaq. You get Charles Barkley in there or something like that, and baby, you could watch, like, own it. You can add a second B to Robinhood with ROBB. Robinhood, like you're.
Well, that might imply that you're Robin the Hood,
That's
and
true.
I don't think
Okay,
that's really
fuck
what
me.
they're trying
But
to
like,
do.
Ro-
But you
well,
were doing
Domino's.
great right up until then.
Another pizza analogy.
Like
Domino's.
when they added the M, when they did double M, Domino's.
No,
they
when
didn't-
Robinhood or when Domino's said our pizza sucks ass and we're going to change, they're one of the best performing stocks of the last decade.
Yeah.
Have you
That's great.
considered just quit? You know you can just quit. Why take the shellacking?
It's about drive. It's about.
Shut up.
Well, it's really about the mission, right? I mean, we have a goal that we think we're in the very early stages of
But could it be carried out without you?
getting everyone in the world to be investors.
Mm-hmm.
And we're only in the US. We have a relatively small set of products, a lot of ambition, a lot of things that we're working on. And I care about that just incredibly deeply.
Okay.
Right. I had dinner with
But so what if that goal was easier to achieve without you?
Well, you had dinner. Who did you have dinner with?
I had
Oh,
dinner
please be
with
good.
a
Peter
friend
Thiel. Damn it.
last night, and he was telling me about how he started using Robinhood,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he walked into his bank to talk to a financial advisor. He said, "Listen, I'm not an expert in these things. I want you to talk to me like I don't know anything and tell me how I should manage my finances." And you know, what happened was he got talked to, and lots of people, by the way, have this experience where their financial advisors or their people at their banks make them feel stupid. And he opened up a Robinhood account, and we made it accessible. We made him feel like he could do this, and he became an investor. And I think there's tens of millions of people that we have to reach in the U.S.
Can I stop you for 1 second?
Hundreds of millions outside, and we're just nowhere close to it.
I know you're here to make this pitch, and that's like a very nice anecdotal story, but I'm sorry, there's a ton of other anecdotal stories of people getting way in over their head on these things, and it sucks because we're out of time, and I would love to talk so much more about.
Come back anytime,
Yeah,
too.
and so
Make
I
us
would just
hats.
say it's back to my point. We believe in democracy. So yes, we need more education. We need more tools. But I wanna build a world where everyone has access, nobody's left behind, and it's not just the rich people that can invest their money and access all of these
you
sophisticated
sound like a
tools.
politician a little bit when they're talking about access to healthcare. It's like, buddy, sure, but like you got to give me the fucking shit so I can go to the doctor. You know what
Sure.
I mean, I hate the word access for some reason. It just is triggering.
Well, I have one final question. It's a bit more fun. Famously, in the Bible, God presented himself to Moses in the form of a burning bush, and he granted him 3 wishes. If God were to present himself in the form of Jared Leto right here
So hot.
and were to grant
So
you
hot.
one wish, well, because he is the second coming to a lot of people.
We've seen him in person.
He's
Beautiful. You wouldn't
beautiful
believe
guy.
he's 50.
Beautiful guy. I mean, his eyes are so deep set. Unreal.
Yeah.
But if he were to appear here and grant you one wish, what would that wish be?
Everyone being an investor.
That's
That's
it?
your
That's
wish?
your one wish?
Jesus Christ.
Buddy, that's the wrong answer.
why
We
not
would have
just,
accepted peace in the Middle East.
You could have said
Free healthcare for all.
redistributed wealth so they don't need to do these trades.
Or how about $1 million per
Cut out
share
the
at
middleman.
GameStop?
What a selfish answer, Vlad.
I don't think it's a selfish answer at all. I think actually the more people own the economy and the world around them, the better and more stable the world will be.
That's a very socialist point of view.
Vlad is a socialist. He thinks the average voter is stupid, and he colluded with Joe Biden and Ken Griffin to fuck you over.
You heard
Fake
it here,
news.
folks. You heard it here. I guess that's it.
They're gonna kick our ass.
This is hard. I mean, how do you think we did? How would you rate us if this were give us 10 stars?
I think you guys have a really good chemistry about you. There's a lot of unexpected things. I mean, hard for me to think about what to change.
Well,
I don't know you guys.
No
but
notes.
The most important thing is that you have good chemistry. So I would just double down on that.
Thank you. And don't forget, don't leave too quick. You said you were going to take that selfie with me so I could send it to my ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
also, we do want to ask people to comment and like and subscribe and shit. And our slogan here on the show.
You need to give the Trillionaire slogan.
And this is 100%. We're not fucking with you here. It is kill your parents, quit your job, shit your pants.
So if you could just...
I can't say kill your parents.
You literally just did.
Okay, we'll do kill your parents, and then you can come in with shit your
yeah. Kill your parents, quit your job. Can you say shit your pants?
I'm not going to tell people to do these things. Nice try.
This is okay. I mean, fair enough. Fair enough.
We really do want to have you on. That's not a joke. We want
we'd love
to have you back.
on
I
again
have so many more questions for you.
Have it a bit more structured.
I'd really like to talk to you about some of this stuff, and I really appreciate you coming on to talk about it.
Yeah, it was cool.
Thanks, guys.
And maybe the next time we can get you on with William Prezone. Maybe you'll.
Oh my God, that'd be too much chaos.
Maybe you'll
Way too much
recognize
chaos.
him. Maybe you'll see him at some kind of reunion or
And
something.
maybe
He's
we
a
can
Stanford
get a
man.
little $100,000 kickback too. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, so long, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.